This is Patrick, and welcome to the eTravelution Learning Center Client-Based Browser Series using reminders and activities. We'll go into the test agent profile and pull a reservation card that I just created. Now, one of the first things we want to do after we pull a res card through is we need to create the reminders. So we're going to go into tour reservation, and we're going to scroll down to create reminders. Now, these dates do come through the system when we import, but it doesn't create the reminders. We have to do that manually. Create reminders. This can take a few moments here, so we'll just wait. Okay, now we're finally into the reservation reminders section. By default, they're both clicked to create. We'll click proceed. Reminders have been created, and we'll return to reservation detail. We'll go ahead and close. And now you'll see that we do have activities for this reservation that we didn't have there before. Another way of creating reminders or creating additional reminders is up here in this band, and we're going to create some batch reminders. Now, this is a little more advanced. The first set of reminders will tell us when the deposits and final payments are due to the tour wholesaler, but we may not want to wait that late. So we have some canned reminders to help us to set up some other reminders for this reservation card. In this case, we're going to set up a final payment reminder. This typically dates a week before the actual reminder is due. A reminder for Verify International Travel Security is included by default. If it's a domestic reservation, then we would uncheck that. Since this is an electronic document, we're going to go ahead and flag the documents as documents direct. They'll usually come to the agency, and then we'll email them to them, but you may set it up where it goes to the client direct. If that's the case, this is a reminder to give your client a call to make sure that they receive the e-document. If not, then you may have to regenerate it. We do have a thank you email follow-up dated when the trip ends. Actually, when the trip begins. You would then email them and thank them for traveling. And also by default, the welcome home reminder is set up. So we'll go ahead and click on add. Actually, create reminders, I'm sorry. Okay, we now have the activities, not only the deposit due and the final payment due that we created right off of the reservation and the res card, but we have the rest of the reminders that we created up here using the batch reminder facility. So we have a deposit due on the 3rd, final due on the 17th. We have a reminder on the 10th to remind us to give these folks a call on the 17th. Also, when we make this call here for the final remainder, we also have Verify International Security. So we would probably want to do that at around the same time. About 3 weeks before the trip begins, we need to check to see if documents have come in. And then the day of the trip, we'll send them a thank you email so it's waiting for them when they get back. And then about a week after their trip ends, we will give them a welcome home call. Now where you manage these reminders is up in the Activities tab. Now our default in Activities and Global Save searches are reminders that aren't cleared. So in this case, all these reminders show. You have different types of views you can do for reminders. For example, you can do deposits due today. And of course, this particular reservation, the deposit's not due, I think, until the 3rd, so it doesn't show here. Once the 3rd rolls around, then this would show. We also have final payments due today. Once again, the final hadn't rolled in yet, so that's not an issue. Final payments due this week. That would show that second reminder that we created, which was dated a week before then. So while the default is open reminders only, it will show you a lot of reminders that are open. So if you want to slim those down to be more specific on what you're looking for, then I would suggest you do that. This just gives you a broad overview of all the reminders that are floating out there for different clients. In this case, the client is test agent. You'll have your different client names appearing here. Now you can clear these reminders either here or you can clear them inside the reservation card. But for example, let's say that we've called the client, we've talked to them, we've actually processed the deposit, and the next step is we want to go in and edit this deposit reminder. And what we're going to do is we're going to show that it's been, and then normally I like to put some notes in here. Deposit received and processed on the 1st of February. My agent signed PS. Just something in here. You can put the amount of the deposit, whatever that deposit was. I don't remember what it was offhand. I'll just say $500. We can say it was received and processed online, or we could say it was received and instead of processed, maybe received and called Susan at Continental Airlines vacation on the 15th of February. So this is a free flow field. Put in enough information to where it makes sense to you, and we're going to show it completed, and we'll click on save. Now you see now, since our default was open reminders, this open reminder doesn't show anymore. And the same thing with working that inside the res card, similar process. Now this is still going to show the deposit due reminder even though it's been cleared, because in this functionality here you want to see all the reminders. But same thing, you could have done it here in edit. And normally this is where I do them, is inside the res card. Since this has already been completed, and then the little remark is there, and then we can click on save. So basically this completes the tutorial on how to create these reminders, how to view them in the res card, and then also how to see them in the activities tab so you can keep up with all of your reminders. Thank you and have a prosperous day.